Hello and welcome back to F1 Every Week. I am your host Ben Wevel, and this week we are going to be looking at all of the latest car launches and all of the other hot news stories in Formula 1 this week. You can listen to the podcast on the streaming platform of your choice, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all of which are linked below. I would just like to apologise if you hear any background noise throughout this podcast. It is raining when I am recording this at the moment, so I apologise. But without further ado, let's get into episode 42. First off this week, we're going to be looking at the car launch news. Second to drop their 2022 Challenger this year was Red Bull, who on the 9th of February pulled the cover off the RB18, predictably liveried in the same style as almost all of its predecessors, apart from the side pod, which instead of featuring the commonly placed Red Bull logo, is replaced by Red Bull's new title sponsor, Oracle. This change due to a 5-year deal worth a rumoured $500 million. Wow. Despite the similar livery, we know that all will change on the technical side of things, as Red Bull have shared that the car that we saw on the reveal night won't be the actual car they will use for 2022, rather a show car, used to keep the details of the design out of the eyesight of rivals for a short while longer. As we know, Max Verstappen is the reigning champion at only 24 years of age, so he is sure to be feeling the pressure come the first race of the season, but he seems calm for the time being, citing that there is no reason to act any differently about the 22 season than any other of his previous outings in the sport. On the other hand, Checo Perez seemed a touch unconfident, happy that they will all be starting at zero, but this can equally be interpreted as Checo happy for a fresh start. I hope the Red Bull can continue in their great form from 2021 and bring that into 2022. Moving on, Aston Martin released their 2022 car on the 10th, the Silverstone-based team opting to show off some of their new innovations for the coming season rather than keep them under wraps as Red Bull did. The AMR 2022 has a sweet new livery, which replaces the pink of last year with lime detailing, a step up in my books. The team will be hoping to improve on a poor P7 in the Constructors' Championship last year, 3 places down from their 2020 feat. In terms of the car itself, it looks a world away from the hugely Coke bottle-shaped Haas car, with a very undercut frame and grills on the top of the side pods. This variety is just wonderful to see as a fan of Formula 1, because these technical regulations have led to a range of interpretations of the rulebook, which means that they could benefit anyone. The magic of it is that we have no idea who has got it right. Next, onto McLaren, another Mercedes-powered team, who released the MCL36 on the 11th, hoping that this car will bring them closer to the forefront of the championship this year. It is out with the bright blue this year, and in with the grey and more of a sky blue, which in my opinion, alongside the papaya orange from previous years, combines to make one of the best liveries in the last few years. The car itself is more akin to the Coke bottle style that Haas have gone for this year, but on the other hand, the radiator sections of the car have been moved further up, unlike Haas, similar to Alpine's placement of this critical part last year. In terms of the drivers, I hope to see Lando Norris at least getting his first win this season, as he secured 4 podiums and a pole position last year, also coming astonishingly close to a victory in Russia, tantalisingly close, which unfortunately was not meant to be. On the other hand, Daniel Ricciardo had a pretty dismal 2021 that the Aussie will surely regret and will want to improve on in this 2022 season. With the team's highest points tally and their last win since 2012 occurring last year, it seems that McLaren are truly on the up. And if the team has truly been working hard on the MCL36 for the last few years, as Andreas Seidel has noted, then the team may well be on their way to championship glory in the coming years. Next up is Williams, who have announced the launch date for their 2022 car, the FW44, for the 15th of February, Williams being the final team to do this. It has been an important year for the team and drivers this year, all of which will have elevated hopes about their prospects for the coming season. After a P8 finish on the Constructors' Championship, following years of languishing at the bottom and quite simply being garbage. In terms of the drivers, Alex Albon will make his long-awaited return to the sport alongside Nicholas Latifi, who is now coming into his third season. Alex certainly has something to prove to himself. He is a great racer, but, like many before him, has sunk at the second Red Bull seat, so will be coming into the season all guns blazing, eager to prove that he still has the goods of some of the best drivers in the sport. Latifi also has a bone to pick with his doubters, as he will be soaring after having scored 7 points the last year, be they in questionable conditions of Belgium and Hungary. But he may see Alex Albon as a driver that he can finally get relatively close to, and prove that he is worthy of that seat in the sport, not just a paid driver. In other news, Lando Norris has signed the dotted line on a very lucrative long-term deal with McLaren that will see him race with the outfit until at least 2025. He has really shown himself as a talent of the future, and more in previous seasons, a talent of the now. If McLaren can provide him with appropriate equipment, I have no doubt that Lando will climb to the top of the F1 world in no time. Norris came out as having been offered deals by other teams, citing that there is no point in lying about this stuff, but it is clear that Lando is committed to McLaren, this deal setting a precedent for loyalty to the team that gave him his first F1 drive. It is clear that he has huge backing from the team as well, team principal Andreas Seidel commenting that they have huge confidence in Lando's talent. I'm sure that Lando can bring his startling form from 2021 into the 2022 season, and as there has been a huge regulation shift, who knows how high the 22-year-old can go. Finally this week, the Bahrain Grand Prix had a contract extension that will see the F1 race there until 2036 at least. Bahrain is one of my personal favourite circuits, so I am overjoyed to see that it will continue to grace the calendar with its great racing for the coming years. F1 first arrived in Bahrain in 2004, and we have seen in the past that it has great potential for future renditions of the Grand Prix, as we saw 2 separate configurations of the track used in 2020, so I am sure that it will continue to provide fans with excitement for many years to come. Thank you very much for listening to F1 Weekly. I hope that you have a wonderful week and you can return for another episode of F1 every week, every Sunday. Thank you for listening and have a nice weekend.